Hello, hello. Hey. Keep jumping. What are you doing? Liz. Not a boyfriend or girlfriend. Male and female friends. You need to wrap this woman in a blanket as soon as possible. I believe you are a boyfriend and girlfriend. He ran around his own ground for the first time. You're not here to play. I am very. The lying police officer Leo bore in front of me. My favorite way to catch clients on weekdays. But today something big happened. Old Leo hurried to the riverbank. I saw a female corpse lying on the shore. The victim's throat was sealed with a knife. I almost had my head cut off. The body was still skinned. Form a pattern of flowers. But in the past few days, the chain of Dali clues has long been washed away by the rain. This is all diving. What was done before leave this behind. How did you die like crazy? And then a dog ran by hanging piece of clothing. Faced with such a bizarre murder case, Officer Liu couldn't help but reflect. Because once this case is resolved, he is highly likely to be promoted to deputy director. Okay. This dog bites. Expand position. Why so much nonsense? It was only discovered after the investigation began. This case is extremely complicated. The deceased is an actress from a theatre troupe. There was no abnormal behavior during his lifetime. But Lao Leo didn't give up. The next day, Leo Bo ran to the scene of the crime again to search for clues, but at this moment, I saw a strange man chasing someone else. Leo Bo thought he was a gangster, hurried to catch him. But only when he was brought back to the police station, did he realize that this man was not a criminal at all, but his brother He Chern, who is peaceful. He Chen's success is on the verge of failure. Leo Bo, dissatisfied with catching the wrong person, angrily overturned the meal. Leaving the police station, I saw him hurriedly running to the barber shop, pick up the wrench, go straight to a fat man. Fat man sees the situation, hurry up and escape He Chern. He Chern, who could be caught up with, fell to the ground altogether. Fat man meets his body, immediately embrace He Chern. He Chern saw this and picked up the wrench in his hand, being smashed towards the fat man. Father, he can also, by the way, then hold down the fat man on the ground, grab his hair, one punch at a time swung onto him, and at this point, Liu Bokai arrived late, stopped He Ching, and then handcuffed him up, then inquire about the relationship between the fat man and the deceased. Fat man told Liu Bo, he and He Ping are in a romantic relationship. The two of them have an appointment, go on a date by the river that day. But when he went, I saw the peaceful corpse, the clothes that the dog is holding in its mouth. He was also in a panic and left it there. My second trip to the river, I just want to burn some paper for my girlfriend. Old Liu thought that the fat man was exonerating himself, but after being a formal official, I realized that the fat man didn't lie. Now all the clues are lost. Just as everyone was preparing to hastily close the case, a major news suddenly shocked the entire audience. The dark dormitory was filled with police officers. Turns out it's another female corpse. The pattern of flowers cut from the belly. 3 years have passed. Another case with the same modus operandi. Leo Bohr is so upset that he can't even smoke a cigarette. What made him even more upset was, the next day I had a new colleague of mine, and he's not someone else. It's the synthesis that I've been fighting against myself before. He has been studying hard for the past 3 years. Admitted to a civil servant in the city. Sent to the county town to assist Leo Bohr in handling the case. He Chern found the deceased's sister. Before learning about a butcher, frequently harassing his sister. After Leo Bohr learned the intelligence, hurried to find the picture. Subsequently, he was violently arrested, but ended up being scolded by the director. How could I ask you to send it? That's really stupid. At this point, He Chern reports to the director. The butcher has sufficient alibi, and his hand has old wounds. Can't carve such delicate patterns. At night after work, it's starting to rain. Leo Bogang wants to drive home, but was attacked by a butcher with a stick. At this moment, He Chegun, who was passing by, noticed. Mind your own business. I'm telling you. 3 or 2 times, the two of them returned to the office to handle the wound. He Chern also interrupted Liu Bo with his father on the ground. Now I finally understand. He Chern is not targeting himself. Then he took him back to his own home for dinner. He Ching drew different possible flowers from the patterns on the deceased's body. At this point, but Liu Bo's wife said, I've seen it myself in salt water, but they searched for all the fireworks. But I couldn't find the flower I wanted, just as they were in distress. Another homicide has occurred. Still using the same modus operandi, and this time, the killer still drew a flower of blood at the door to provoke the police. The angry two accelerated their steps, searching for the deceased's gambling boyfriend, although there are many people in Dog's casino. But Liu Bo, with his sharp eyes, still took away Dog's. Excited, he turned around and saw He Chern, who had been stabbed by a knife, constantly reminding He Chern on his way back, don't fall asleep. So Liu Bo turned on the radio to play songs, let He Chern cheer up. No. Come here. After returning to the police station, Dogs confessed that he was not the murderer, and Liu Bo was only concerned about the synthesis of the bucket at this time. Not long after, another homicide occurred. When you can retrieve a copy online, they finally discovered something from the cinders on their footprints. This room is also too messy, but you are dressed quite clean. I'll get a new outfit. Liu Bo and He Chern finally caught the killer. He admitted that he has been responsible for all the murders in the past few years. I didn't wait long for the two of them to be happy. Colleagues tell them, this killer was just released from prison not long after. He only killed his ex-girlfriend. He didn't commit any of the previous cases. Upset, the two of them came to the night market to drown their sorrows with wine. But the neighboring table keeps saying that the police are incompetent in handling cases. We can't catch the killer at all. Leo Bohr couldn't hear this. Pick up the wine bottle and smash it. 2 fists are difficult to defeat 4 hands. Was directly taken to the hospital, and at this point, his wife told him good news. He's pregnant. Happy Leo Bohr instantly forgot his previous cowardice. Promise my wife that I will only catch prostitutes after I promise. Spend more time with him, regardless of this case. But at this moment, Hee-chun came. Leo Bohr told him, I can't accompany him to handle cases together in the future. Hee-chun, who lost his younger sister, knows more than anyone how important family is. Didn't force Leo Bohr to stay. But although Leo Bohr didn't take care of this case anymore, but I still have concerns in my heart. Even when catching clients, we need to check their blood and fingerprints. When chasing the thief again, he met Hee-chun again. I suddenly remembered when I was working with him on a case before, but his wife is not willing to tell Leo Bohr with a strong attitude that he cannot go. But Leo Bohr followed Hee-chun to the new murder scene early the next day, and on the other side, my wife saw a necklace left in the corner alone at home. Wanna go pick it up? But I met my own child. After Leo Bohr returned home, but his wife told him he had an intentional miscarriage. Angry, Leo Bohr chooses his wife, but I still let go of my hand. The last 2 divorced. My wife left with tears in her eyes, and Leo Bohr, who was heartbroken and had lost his memory, also left the police force. In one case, Hee-chun saw the decadent Leo Bohr, drunk and twisted along the roadside, sadly shed tears. Time has come 16 years later. Young Hee-chun has also grown white hair. There are a few more wrinkles on the face. Based on the latest clues, he came to a garage, meet the boss upstairs. But the boss was hesitant when facing Hee-chun's inquiry. At this point, Hee-chun looked at a black and white photo in the room. The boss took advantage of his unpreparedness, pushed him down from the 3rd floor. Hee-chun immediately died bravely, and the real culprit was also killed. The police told Leo Bohr the news, heard the news of Chun Sheng-shun and the successful resolution of the case. His heart is full of mixed flavors, but there was no expression on his face. The story ends with the two people's gaze transcending time and space and life and death. Welcome to the curtain call.